Cruising the Main once again. South Virginia Street from downtown of Peppermill here in Reno. The opposite of what I showed you in terms of direction from a couple of vlogs ago. That actually will be one of two similarities between that vlog and this vlog, as you'll see coming up at the end of it. But it's good to be here for vlog number 99, the Wayne Gretzky of vlogs, the Aaron Donald of vlogs, the Mitch Williams, maybe, of vlogs, Javon Kinla of the Niner. Anyway, it's been an interesting stretch of 2021 for me in poker. The first hand that I played on the year, I got one outed, quads over boat on the river. My pocket sixes on a 6-10-3 flop in a spot where I know I'm never against tens, loses to quad threes, booking $1,000 loss right out of the gate. So that was unfortunate, but still feeling pretty good about where my game has been as of late. So as we get set to go into vlog 100, I'll look back at a lot of the best moments from the previous 99 vlogs. Let's try to book one more win here at Peppermill, shall we? So after that brutal loss with the one outer on the quads over full house hand, I jump back into the single $5 blind no limit hold'em game at Peppermill to try and get something going in 2021. The first hand comes when I pick up kings under the gun 1 and raise to 20. I end up getting 3 callers here. So with 85 in, the flop comes deuce 3-5 rainbow. I bet 55, but don't get any action. Next hand, the low jack makes it 15, and the cutoff calls. I have ace queen of hearts in the big blind, then I make it 55, and as you tend to see, both make the call. So with 165 in, it comes ace of diamonds, 3 of hearts, 7 of spades. I bet 65, which both players call. So with 295 in, I was certainly hoping for a heart on the turn, but I don't get one. Instead, I get the king of clubs, completing the rainbow. I bet 85. The low jack folds, and the cutoff calls. So with 465 in, the river isn't what I'd classify as a complete disaster, but it's certainly far from ideal. It's another 3, taking my kicker out of play. There aren't many draws that he could have had here, so I elect to bet it again. I make it 135, and he calls. So we have a $735 pot. I'm certainly expecting to be chopping a lot of the time here, but that's not the case this time, as he mucks and we scoop. The dealer then tells him after that an ace was a chop, which, by the way, I kind of think that I should be a little mad about that. But he proceeded to say he didn't have an ace. The villain in this next hand is the same guy after he moved seats. And by the way, that plays a small role here. So I pick up 8-6 of clubs under the gun and raise to 20. A little loose, I understand, but hadn't played a hand in a while. Decide to play this one. I get 2 callers, so with 60 in, it comes 5 of clubs, 10 of clubs, king of hearts. The big blind checks, and I bet half the pot here on a semi-bluff, hoping to take it down. Plus 2 calls, and the big blind folds. So with 120 in, the turn is the exact card I was hoping to see. The 7 of clubs, giving me a flush and a straight flush draw. My opponent has about 200 left here, and I bet about 75, hoping I can get the rest in on the river. So he goes ahead and makes the call. And of course, I'm remembering that he paid me off very light in that last hand. So with 350 in, the river is a brick, just as I've been hoping for. I bet him all in for his last 135, and he snap calls. So we have a $620 pot, which I'm not taking down because he ends up having ace-deuce of clubs. I have really not been faring well with 8 or 9 high flushes with straight flush redraws on these last couple of vlogs. Damn. I was hoping to pick up pocket 9s in vlog 99, and sure enough I do. It comes after a $15 raise and 2 calls. I contemplated a squeeze out of the blind, but given the stickiness level of 2 of these guys, I decided against it. So I just call them with 60 in. It comes queen, 10, 8, all hearts, giving me again a gut shot straight flush draw. I check, as does everyone else. The turn is an offsuit jack, giving me the straight. So I bet out tiny here with a pretty face-up hand, in my opinion, and I get a call from the low jack, an OMC. So with 100 in, the river's an offsuit 3. I bet again here, but small. I make it 30, hoping to get paid off by top pair. Instead, I get raised to 130. And given the fact that this guy's an OMC and he's always going to have it here, I snap fold, and he's nice enough to show me ace-king of hearts. Next hand, +1 limps, and I have ace-queen of spades in the low jack, and I make it 20. The button calls, as does the limper. So with 65 in it comes jack 6 deuce with 2 spades, giving me the nut flush draw. +1 checks, and I bet 40, which both players proceed to call. So with 185 in, the turn is an offsuit 3. I figured it's going to be pretty hard for these guys to hold on with just a jack against the pre-flop raiser in a spot like this. So I fire again, betting 125, and it gets the job done as both guys fold. Next hand, we get 3 limps, and I pick up king 4 of diamonds on the button and decide to overlimp. The blind checks, so at 25 in, it comes queen of diamonds, 9 of hearts, jack of spades. An OMC bets out for 20 here, and I decide that I'm going to raise and double-barrel diamond turns. I make it 60, and he calls. So with 145 in, the turn is the 8 of diamonds, the perfect double-barrel card for me, giving me the backdoor diamond draw and the ability to rep a 10. He checks, and I fire 125, trying to get him off a hand like ace-queen. Instead, to my astonishment, he folds a set of 9s face up, which I figured was appropriate given my title, thumbnail, and number of this vlog. If you want to beat an OMC, there's only one way to do it. You gotta bluff. As a quick interlude, I once had a guy who I think watches this vlog ask me about beating OMCs. And I said, well, there's only one way to beat an OMC. And he just says, yeah, the nuts. And I wanted to act like I'm Biff in Back to the Future 2, old Biff, when he slaps his younger self and he goes, it's make like a tree and leave, you idiot. You sound like a damn fool when you say it wrong.
It's leave, you idiot. Make like a tree and leave.
I wanted to take that tone of voice with this guy. What do you mean? The nuts to beat an OMC. That's all they play. You have to find ways to bet them off when they miss the nut. Anyway, the point is, if you want to beat an OMC, you gotta bluff them. You gotta put the heat on them. And it's not always possible to do because they play only strong hands. But that has to be your game plan. I ended up picking up pocket aces and making a set on the river with them. The problem is that brought in a one-liner to a king. And I was up against a very tough opponent in the hand who had been on a heater. I ended up folding it. Not sure if I was correct or not. I have no doubt he'll watch this, but never let on that he did. And that brings us to the last hand of the vlog. And there's a concept at play here. Now, it's kind of a concept I made up, but you'll understand what I'm getting at. A guy sat down who I think I've played with before, but I wasn't 100% sure when the last time that could have been. But the fact of the matter is, he bought in for $5,000. And he had just lost a big hand, so factor that in when you're thinking about this hand, because he was definitely steaming. Playing 7-handed at this time, I'm stuck on the day. And this deep stacked gentleman opens to 25 under the gun and +1 calls. I have 9-6 of spades on the button, and I decide to come along. So with 80 in, the flop comes 6-8-4 rainbow with 1 spade. He fires 75. +1 folds, and I think this is a clear-cut call. So with 230 in, the turn is the 7 of hearts, giving me an open-ended straight draw to go with my pair, and now he bets 100. I opt to make the call here, based on what I've already said, and now that I improve my equity, should he actually have a hand. I just think he's going to be bluffing here a lot. So, with 430 in, we go to the river and it comes the 3 of spades. No help. And then he throws out 3 black chips. Now, all I have here is a pair of 6s. But I was immediately convinced that he was not good enough to take an overpair for this much value with this line against me in this spot. The question does now become, does he have a 5 or doesn't he? It's that simple to me. It's a 5 or nothing. Now, he did raise under the gun, which should skew him more towards Broadway hands and less hands that contain a 5. But that's a line of thinking that will often get you in trouble when you try to think that certain guys will wait for good hands before raising under the gun. But still something to factor in here. The more important factor is that I know he's steaming from running into a full house a couple of hands ago when I think he had trip aces, but I could be wrong. And it just seemed pretty hard for me to have that much of a hand. Seemed like a pretty good spot for him to try to get me off a hand similar to what I had. I think some of you already see where this is going. I obviously wouldn't be telling this story if I folded here. So, as you can expect, I make the call with just a pair of 6s. We have a $1,030 pot. He picks up his hand and sheepishly turns it over. But he shows the last thing on the face of the earth I expected or obviously wanted to see. He shows Queen 6 offsuit for a bigger 6. I basically told the table what had happened because they couldn't believe he was going to win a $1,000 pot with a pair of 6s. And he has the nerve to say, "Sucks to be you, man." Which I'm not going to lie, really pissed me off. So I think that qualifies as the worst feeling you can have in a hand of cash game poker. You analyze a situation perfectly, but he just happens to be bluffing with a slightly better hand than you have. So I booked my 3rd loss to start the year. I'm now going to waste 10 seconds of your time by bringing a meme to this vlog so I can attempt to teach myself a valuable lesson here. God damn. That is the worst feeling in poker. I'm sorry. You cannot get a worse feeling than that. You just are so convinced that a guy's bluffing. You go through it all. You make the call, but you can't beat his hand. Obviously, you could argue I never should have tried. But I had a feeling. I was just so convinced. Turns out I should have put him on the Queen 6 offsuit, raising early position pre-flop. Couldn't do it, apparently. So I'm steaming, as you can see. That's gonna wrap it up for this night, but not for this vlog. Tomorrow night, I got plans with the buddy. So I'll vlog that too. Safe to say that I had some beginner's luck last time. Is that accurate?
No, because I just watched you throw a couple of bullseyes. I'm not a beginner anymore, so no.
All right. So we can see that apparently I can just throw things well. That goes back to our Sandlot football days, I think, of high school.
Quarterback.
2002. Of course, I was quarterback then. It's been a minute though, so switching over to axes has been my only outlet for throwing of late. So we're gonna go at it here and see who can take this thing down today. We got a chick over here who's just drunk out of her mind, and she just can't begin to fathom how we can get these axes to stick. Maybe you don't get so tanked. First game, and Larry got me back-to-back in the last 2, so now down 2 games. It's a 5-game series? All right, 5-game series. I'm trailing 2 games to 1. Much like the San Francisco Giants were in, what year was that? I'm not even sure where that was now. The point is, I'm an underdog to win. I'm a dog to win, and I've got to catch a river card or 2 here.
Yeah, it's tough for me to go home, so I got to win this one quick. I think he got it by a hair.
Got it by a hair. We stay high. This game will not end. All right, I took game 4, so we are headed to a decisive game 5, winner take all, even though we didn't bet. So this came right down to it. Overtime in game 5. Either way, it's a hell of a match. Reno Axe. That's gonna wrap it up for this. This is vlog 99. So the next one's vlog 100. We'll look back at a lot of the most memorable moments from the previous 99 vlogs. You're not gonna wanna miss it.